We all have 1,440 minutes in a day. The way we invest every minute is important to achieve a return on the investment of time. This is a quote that you shared with us, Florence, and I want you to just take a few seconds here and tell us what this quote really means to you.
It means to me that our time is valuable. We often hear time is money, but time is our life. It's what we
Mm,
do every minute. And so many people consider and they think if I'm not getting paid, then it's free time. No, no time is free.
no.
You can't buy it, you can't sell it, you can't get it back, you can't reinvent it. You can regain a lot of things. You can
Hmm.
rebuild your financials, you can
Sure
rebuild a home,
can.
you can get things back. You cannot get time back, which means you can't get your family back. When the time is gone, it's gone. And
Mercy.
I leaned into that. Time is so critical to me and how I use it and how I allow other people to use the time they get with me. I pay a
Mm,
lot of attention to it. It's the
that that
it's the number one
that
form of respect. Respect the person's time.
that
So
is so good.
18 to 37-year-olds are the most frequent viewers of live stream video in the US. 52% of live video viewers stream content through social media. Video streaming accounted for nearly half of all downstream internet traffic. What does it all mean? Let's find out on the Why I Go Live podcast with Coach Kirk.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We're back with another episode of the Why I Go Live podcast. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent. I'm super excited about our guest today, one of the moderators from my community, somebody that I have really formed a bond with, somebody that I highly respect, somebody who is going to help us break down this question of why should you and everyone else go live. But before we do that, you know what we got to do? We got to get right into our stats for today. Today's statistics. Live video campaigns boost video engagement by twice as much for influencer marketing. That's from Rhythm One. That's pretty dope. Nearly a quarter of marketers have reported that live streaming is the most effective tool for promoting trade shows. Oh, that's from Social Effect. Anybody got a trade show they want to promote? I think you might want to look into live streaming. Here's the last stat for today. 2/3 of marketers that target consumers use live streaming for marketing. That's from the Content Marketing Institute. I am pretty convinced actually that you should be using live streaming too. And I mean, there's just this huge buzz. I mean, those statistics are absolutely crazy. They are bananas. And what is all the rage about? I'm so glad you asked, because here to help us answer that question is show host, content creator, personal productivity coach, and consultant, Florence Donald. How are you, sis?
I am doing fantastic, sir. It is always exciting to be with you because I learn
I'm
so much from you.
Listen. Today, you are going to be sitting in the teacher seat because we're excited to hear from you a little bit about why you go live. But before we get to that, I want people to know a little bit about who Florence is. So share with us in your own way, what personal productivity coach, consultant, that's absolutely amazing. I can't tell you one person I know that doesn't need those things. So talk to us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm going to start by saying I'm a simple Iowa girl. And I often introduce myself that way because Iowa is home. And people usually say, why? What? They don't expect it.
Where is it? Right?
Where is that? Two people live there. And then,
Really?
you can put other words in there, which is what they really want to say. But Iowa is home. It still is. Family is there. And I got into the technology field almost by accident. I started
Mm,
working with computers when I was in undergraduate school and found out I had a knack for it. So that led me
mm.
on to doing what I do today in corporate environments and working in consulting and uh, healthcare. And so that's a little bit about me
That's
and,
good.
you know, the baby of the bunch. and not spoiled.
But what I find interesting. So you're into the technology field, and you're clearly in the content creator space, and we're going to get into how you utilizing live streaming in a second. But your title is personal productivity coach and consultant. I thought that was pretty dope, and I just want you to take a few more seconds to kind of share how did you land in that spot? So you talked about being in technology, and now you're in personal productivity. Some people, not me, but some people do not see the two as synonymous. Share with us, how did you kind of make that leap?
So it really started when I was in middle school.
Mm,
Literally started when I was in middle school. I started teaching myself about how to use planners and calendars and keep track of what I had to do. And
mm,
I've studied just about every quote unquote guru that exists and read the books. And what I found was there's no one way for any person. Just as each person is
right,
unique, their
right.
systems, their processes, the way they consume information and process information is very unique to them.
Mm.
And as I did that for myself and started learning what worked, because I tried a lot of things that didn't, a lot, a lot. I also found as I got into the professional world, I often led teams and people would complain about not having enough time and not being able to get all of their work done. And I started teaching, I started training and educating first my team members
Mm.
that worked with me because in technology and I came out, as I tell people, I came out of the infrastructure side of the business. So it's the part that people don't think about. If
Yeah,
you
it's
do your job
yeah.
well, right, you do your job well, they don't know you, and when something goes wrong, it's all your
Ooh,
fault.
it's all your fault.
It's all
Yeah.
your fault. So and I also started in a time where there were almost no women,
Mm.
and I worked almost exclusively with men, and I led them. So I was the
Mm.
leader of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
men, and many of them had been in the business longer than me, in the industry longer than me. But yet I found myself time and time and time again needing to educate them on how to manage all that was coming at them.
Cool. That this is absolute gold, because there's this convergence of recognizing this lifelong, almost, you said middle school, but this almost lifelong journey of figuring out the best way to do something in terms of productivity. And now, having been in leadership, you are training people on how they can get the most out of their time, because that directly benefits you as their boss. But in addition, there's this added component of content, right? The things that you're teaching these people, there's a direct correlation to what others can learn from that as you put your content and make that available online. So talk to us about what your show is about. What do you mainly focus in on? Who's your target audience for your show, and what's that
Yeah,
value proposition?
my target audience is, as I often say, it's me. It's that person
That's
who's
good.
very purpose driven. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an idle type person. Like
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing makes me crazy. It was that way even as a kid. So very purpose driven and intentional, and it can be in any portion of our lives,
That's right.
whether it's
That's
the
right.
home, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's our profession, our business, volunteer service. And if someone ever listens to me, I repeat that because that's me in a bundle. I have
Boom, boom,
professional,
boom. Yeah.
business, volunteer, ministry, the whole nine. And it's a lot to juggle. And you hear people say, I got too much going on. I'm too busy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
too
yeah.
busy.
I
And
hear that at least once a
when I
week.
when I hear that, I go, you don't know how to prioritize, and you haven't decided what's
Mm,
important to you.
that's good. And even as you share your target audience, and you started by saying my target audience is me, that's a whole cheat code, y'all. For those that are watching, for my listeners, for my viewers, that's a whole cheat code. Knowing that your target audience is a derivative or even a direct copy of your own profile is gold, because you can speak to that person like in the depths of their soul in ways that they don't even know. How do you know this? Because I am you, right? You can speak to that
Exactly.
person. You can speak to their needs. You speak to their issues, more importantly, and you can help them to solve them. This is absolute gold. And then for those that we're going to give you an opportunity to share, where they can find you and follow you, how they can participate in your show toward the end. But I do want to get to our signature question. This is the title of the show, because here it is. We've got a entrepreneur, we've got a technology professional, we've got a manager. I would even dare say productivity specialist that is now utilizing content, but more specifically live streaming. So here it is. The drum roll, please. Florence Donald, why do you go live?
Short and answer, I'm following what God told me to do.
That's good.
Years ago, he said, open your mouth and talk. Tell people what I have done for you. And as I looked over my life, the thing that he taught me to do was deal with all of the varied parts of my life that come at me and keep them organized and going and knowing what priorities are. That turned out to one thing,
Wow.
knowing how to use strategy to manage that 1,440 minutes we have every day.
Come on.
How
And
do
for
you
those,
use that?
no,
You know,
go ahead.
people would say to me, but you don't have children, you have more time than me. No, that's not true. I
It's
have
not true.
1,440 minutes just like you do. How I
Wow.
use them may be different than you, but I still have the same amount. People want equality. The one thing that makes us equal for all of us is the amount of time we have every day. No matter who
Agreed.
you are, where you come from, what you do have, what you don't have, how educated you are, how not educated you are. We
Mercy.
have that same amount of time. Do we use it as an investment, or do we spend it and throw it away?
Mercy.
And
Yeah.
so that's the reason I started out talking with business owners offline, and going to meetings and chambers and all kinds of things, standing in pulpits,
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
corporate conferences and webinars and meetings, just simply talking about this and how to use it.
Mm.
And
We
then
have
someone met me and shoved me off a cliff into this live streaming thing.
we have this follow-up question to the primary question, of course. Why do you go live? And you've shared that, and I think there's somebody out there that's really going to resonate with that answer. I mean, today they're going to resonate with that answer and say, I have felt that call, I have heard that voice, and I have been trying to push it off. And I'm super excited to hear Florence's story and how she gave into it, and now to see the results. But like I said, we have this follow-up question that we always like to ask, and that is it's more of experiential, because we want people not only to understand there is this core why, in terms of why am I utilizing live streaming. You heard the statistics. You're seeing the boom. You're seeing how people are just leveraging content, but specifically live video, for that two-way engagement and really allowing people to gain access to their genius at scale. And that is a golden ticket in and of itself. But then there is what happens on the other side, right? So now you've done the live, and this happens, or this happens, or this happens. Share with us an experience that you can kind of pull out that happened directly. Like, you can draw a straight line. You went live, and then now you're now seeing this particular benefit that you may never have considered it being a possibility from your activity being a live streamer.
That's a lot of things. But one of them is, I shared I'm in this corporate world, and I just s- uh, 2 years ago, like almost immediately after going live, I got involved with this global women's organization, and ultimately ended up becoming or taking over as the what's called a portfolio lead. So for this
Mm.
global international organization within a corporate environment, leading their bi-monthly webinar that speak to women leaders.
Wow.
So everything beginning to end, sourcing, meaning going out, finding these executives, convincing them that they will come and speak, giving them a topic and prepping them,
Mm.
preparing to run a show, leading a team. I would have never seen any of that coming because it has nothing to do with tech where I live. It
Mm.
has nothing to do with healthcare technology specifically where I live. It
Wow.
has everything to do with the ability to know how to show up on camera and
Mm.
help another person know how to show up on camera and sound good and have a team that handles the details for the person. That's the production part, which I didn't even
Right.
know it was a thing when I started. Like, no clue. When I tell you, no clue. So that I see very directly because I would have never seen it coming. It still
Mm.
blows my mind that I'm running this and doing it and being able to work through the details with these executives. And without a doubt, they say, "That was so smooth. Thank you all. You have a whole team and you guys do a phenomenal job."
This is so good. This is so good. I hope that we're all really seeing this and not missing this absolutely phenomenal of correlation in when you learn the bones, as they say, right, the nuts and bolts of live streaming for yourself to be able to get out there and engage your audience and serve at scale and do the things that you feel purpose to do, driven to do, called to do. You are also learning a skill set that is marketable. And I think I'm hearing you say, like, this has opened up a door, even in your current industry, in your current discipline. You
Mhm.
now come to the table with additional skills because you know how to stream. Folks are like, hey, can you do that here as well? And this is one of the things I want to say to somebody who's listening right now. You're on the fence. You're, well, nah, I'm not certain if this is for me. Trust me when I tell you, your story will not mirror Florence's or mine or anybody else's. If you've been listening to the podcast, you've been hearing these crazy, ridiculous stories. It will not mirror any of those. In fact, your story may blow all of our minds. Why? Because when you go live, the opportunities that are for you will find you because you've put that content out there. And that's that thing that we don't necessarily talk about that much, is that unless you put the content out there, sometimes the opportunity can't even knock because there is no connection point for that opportunity to meet your skill set, your vibe, your tribe, as they say. And this is something I want to make sure that our audience gets a chance to really sink their teeth into. Florence, man, what a phenomenal thing for us to consider today. Live streaming, opening up doors even in your current industry, in your current field of expertise, but also enabling you to serve those who are like you, purpose-driven folks who want to be productive in their day. Talk to us
Mhm.
about where people can find you, follow you. Where's your headquarters on the World Wide Web? Is there any new projects you got coming up? Anything that people can really sink their teeth into? Share with us.
So, thank you. My primary headquarters is florencedonald.live, my website.
All right.
You can find everything that we're doing here with Purpose for Productivity and the show and derivative products or solutions, as the saying goes, to hearken to my industry. And
Absolutely.
on YouTube, I'm Equip Institute. That's because I'm equipping people.
Mm.
Those who know where that comes from. And when I
Yeah,
was given the
I like that.
push to do this, it was, "You're supposed to equip people," and I've been
Mm.
told to change it, but I won't, because the source is what matters. So
I agree.
FlorenceDonald.live and Equip Institute on YouTube, and if you happen to be in the corporate world, you can connect with me in LinkedIn, because that's really, I don't do any of the others, but those are the 3 places.
Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for taking a few minutes out of your busy day, coming and hanging out with us here on the Why I Go Live podcast. We will definitely have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Well,
it.
family, listen, I want to say this to you. You're going to find some of those links and different things that Florence shared about in the show notes of today's episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Spotify or you're watching on Apple, wherever you get your audio streams. But one of the things I want to say without a doubt is that your live stream is your digital storefront. There's no greater way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid than for your ideal customer, your audience, your perfect person to see you do your thing live. And when they see you do it live, they don't need the taste test. They don't need the ad campaign. They're ready to book the business. They're ready to have the coaching call. They're ready to do the consultation. They're ready to have you come and speak to their group because they saw you do what you could never have prepared for live. That means it's innate. That means it's in you. It means it comes out at a natural pace, cannot be mimicked, cannot be manufactured. In fact, it's something that is part of your very being. And that's what they want to do the business with. And when you're live, you're giving people a window into all the things that you do naturally. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. I am your video coach. I would love for you to be able to join us in the Workers Warehouse, where we are resourcing creators of every size to be able to leverage the power of live streaming to grow and engage an audience, to set up steady streams of referral-based opportunities, or to establish yourself as an authority figure in your particular niche or space. And we want to see you do that with live streaming. We are super excited about this platform, and we hope that you will not only check out today's episode, but previous episodes, and you continue rocking with us for subsequent episodes as well. We will see you around these internet streets or in the next audio stream. Later, fam.
Why I Go Live, hosted by Coach Kirk, is a composition production. Real streamers, honest stories, and incredible impact. Add your voice to the conversation. Go to kirkrnugent.live/member to join the community. And let's figure out how it all works.